One day, I showed up with baggy eyes at work. William asked me why I was always so tired. I decided to come clean and tell him I was suffering from PTSD, which caused me loss of sleep, due to constant nightmares and general feelings of agitation before falling asleep each night. Suddenly, his entire attitude and demeanor towards me changed. He expressed compassion and concern, and started recommending sleeping tablets to me. By the way, they're the best. I still use them. He also apologized profusely for all the things he had said to me before. He started treating me as if I were a child who had been a prisoner of war, telling me he would help me achieve a successful career despite my disability. While I appreciated his kindness, treating me like I was handicapable after making me feel like a useless pile of dirt for months was not going to work. His insults were still ringing in my ears. They prevented me from giving it my best shot. I messed up on the project. Around that time, I developed feelings for a man who was over 15 years my senior. I don't typically get feelings for people with that much of an age gap. It probably happened because I was feeling so vulnerable and lost, which made me easily impressionable by someone older, especially since he had nice things to say about me, and gave me the positive affirmation I was so desperate for. He told me I was intelligent, hardworking, disciplined, etc. while I was feeling like a failure at life. I never told the guy or tried to pursue him, since he was married. He must never have realized that I had romantic feelings for him, since the outside world still perceived me as lesbian at the time, and also because there was such a large age gap. I remember crying myself to sleep all the time, not only because I was messing up on my career, but also due to the fact that having romantic feelings towards a guy had brought my flashbacks back with a vengeance. I started drinking heavily to numb myself. I told my doctor everything. I was still under the impression that I'd reached a sort of plateau, beyond which further EMDR treatments would not help me. She told me I was wrong, and that single event PTSD is very treatable. She contacted a mental health institution near me. They put me on another waiting list. My manager at the previous company, as well as the leader of my team, told me they weren't sure whether they were going to offer me a permanent contract. I decided to come clean to everyone and told them I was suffering from PTSD. I was so relieved to hear they had never questioned my discipline or perseverance. It came as a surprise to me, because I had been afraid they were secretly judging me all this time, just like my teacher. Since the situation was outside of my control, the company allowed me to end my employment without having to pay the amortization expenses. However, the odds of me getting any sort of disability benefits from the government were close to zero. I had to apply for another job. I found one at a multinational electronics corporation. It was just the job for me. Though the average age of the other employees there was around 60, everyone was very welcoming to me. I instantly felt at home. They saw me as a fast learner and told me I was talented. I was so frustrated when my PTSD symptoms got out of hand again. I had to go on sick leave to work on my recovery. For a moment, I had felt like there was a future for me at this company. Most of all, I'm glad they didn't judge me. They were upset to hear about my problems, and told me to focus on recovering. At times, I have judged myself for not being able to work regularly. Sometimes, I felt judged by others. Recently, one of my neighbors skeptically asked me why having PTSD prevents me from maintaining gainful employment. The truth is that I dissociate very frequently, which disconnects me from my surroundings and affects my short-term memory a lot. I also can't focus on anything, which is crucial for programming. Some days I'm alright. Some days I can't get anything done. It's impossible for me to predict on which days I'm going to be a mess and on which days I'm going to be fine. Furthermore, my EMDR treatments require a lot of mental energy and focus, which I can't manage if I'm working a stressful job.